Hello students, I am Mrs. Kavita Upadhyay, your English teacher. Once again, I welcome all the students of class 9 to today's English class. Students, as you all know, we are learning a very important and interesting topic of English grammar, tenses. And this is part 2 of the lesson. This lesson is divided in 3 parts. In the first part, students, we learned forms of tenses, the structure of different types of sentences in the simple present, the simple past, and the simple future tense. We also learned the uses of the simple present, the simple past, and the simple future tense. Objectives of today's lesson are to tell you the sentence structure and uses of the present continuous, the past continuous, and the future continuous tense, and also the present perfect, the past perfect, and the future perfect tense. The first tense that we are going to read today is present continuous or present progressive tense. Sentence structure for affirmative sentence in this tense is subject plus is or am or are plus ing form of the verb. VING means ing form of the verb. We use is with the third person singular subject, am with I, and are with all the other subjects. I am teaching you tenses. I takes am with it, and then it is followed by ing form of the verb, like teaching. You are writing sentences. You is a second person subject. It is followed by are plus ing form. Children are watching a cricket match. Children is a third person plural subject. It is followed by are plus ing form of the verb watching. She is going to her office. She is a third person singular subject, and it is followed by is, then ing form of the verb. Now for negative sentence, we have the rule subject plus is or am or are plus not plus ing form of the verb. Not is placed after the helping verb, that is, am or are. He is not cooking food. They are not beating a dog. I am not clapping. We are not going to school. You are not telling a lie. Interrogative sentence. For single interrogative sentence, that means yes, no answer type question, we have the rule is, am or are plus subject plus ing form of the verb. Am I painting? Is he painting? Are they painting? Anything. Double interrogative sentence. It begins with WH word followed by the helping verb is, am or are plus subject plus ing form of the verb. Example, what is he painting? For negative interrogative sentence, we have the rule WH word plus is, am or are plus subject plus not plus ing form of the verb. Why are you not painting? This is the example. Now let us learn the uses of the present continuous tense. To tell about an action going on at the time of speaking. As we are speaking, whatever action is going on will be told in the present continuous tense. The girl is going to school. See, the girl is going to school. If she is going right at this moment, we are going to tell it in the present continuous tense. The dogs are barking. The dogs are barking. We are learning tenses. I am teaching you. These are the actions going on right at this moment. We are learning tenses and I am teaching you. Both these actions you can see are happening right at this moment. So we have told them in the present continuous tense. For a temporary action which may not actually be going on at the time of speaking. There are some actions which are temporary, like reading a novel. We read it for some time, then keep it aside, then come back and read it. But when someone asks, what are you doing these days? We say, we are reading a novel. Like I am reading Kuli. Kuli is a novel by Mulkuraj Anand. She is doing yoga these days. This action is going on these days, but not right at this moment. For a present habit, when we are referring to some obstinate habit which does not go in spite of advice or warning, like some habit which is a bad one and people advise you not to continue it or warn you against it, but it does not go. It is an obstinate kind of habit. Then it is told in the present continuous tense. My brother is always playing games on his mobile phone. Maybe parents have advised him against it, but he cannot help it. It does not go. Her cousin is very naughty. He is always pulling her hair. This is also a bad habit. In spite of advice and warning, it does not go. So it is told in the present continuous tense. Now comes past continuous or past progressive tense. The sentence structure is similar to the present continuous, but helping verbs are different. For affirmative sentence, subject plus was or were plus ing form of the verb. Instead of is, am or are, which we used in the present continuous tense, we are using was or were. We use was with the first and the third person singular subject. First person singular is I, and the third person singular subject is he, she, it, one, or any singular noun, and are with all the other subjects. I was teaching you poetry. I takes was with it. We were writing sentences. We takes were. Children were watching a cricket match. Children is followed by were. She was going to her office. She is the third person singular. It is followed by was. Then helping verb is followed by ing form of the verb in all these sentences. For negative sentence, we place not after the helping verb was or were. Subject plus was or were plus not plus ing form of the verb. He was not cooking food. They were not beating a dog. We were not going to school. You were not telling a lie. Interrogative sentence. For single interrogative sentence, we have the rule was or were plus subject plus ing form of the verb. It begins with the helping verb. Was I painting? For double interrogative sentence, WH word first followed by the helping verb was or were plus subject plus ing form of the verb. What was he painting? For negative interrogative sentence, we have the rule WH word plus the helping verb was or were plus subject and then not and ing form of the verb. Why were you not painting? Or were you not painting? Even that is correct. Uses of the past continuous or the past progressive tense. To tell about an action going on at some time in the past. Supposing we are talking about a point of time in the past, we wish to say that some action was continuing at that moment, going on at that moment. We will tell it in the past continuous tense or past progressive tense. He was reading a book. I was cleaning my room. They were driving a car. For past habits which would not go in spite of advice or warning. For present habits which were obstinate and wouldn't go in spite of advice or warning, we used present continuous tense. But when we refer to past habits of obstinate kind which wouldn't go in spite of advice or warning, we will use past continuous tense. He was always sucking his thumb. The boy was continually teasing his sister in spite of warning. Now comes future continuous or the future progressive tense. The sentence structure for the affirmative sentence is subject plus the helping verb will be or shall be plus ing form of the verb. Bing means ing form of the verb. We usually use shall with the first person subject and will with all the other subjects. First person subjects are I and we. We use shall with I and we, and for all the other subjects we use will. I shall be teaching you poetry. We shall be writing sentences. Children will be watching a cricket match. You will be going to the office. Will be or shall be followed by ing form of the verb like teaching, writing, watching and going. I is followed by shall. we is followed by shall, and all the other subjects are followed by will. For negative sentence, children, we have the rule subject plus will or shall plus not plus be plus ing form of the verb. Not is placed after the helping verb will or shall and before be. That means between will and be or shall and be. He will not be cooking food. They will not be beating a dog. I shall not be clapping. We shall not be going to school. You will not be telling a lie. Interrogative sentence. For single interrogative sentence, we have the rule will or shall plus subject and be comes after the subject. Be plus ing form of the verb. Shall I be painting? For double interrogative sentence, we have the rule WH word plus will or shall plus subject plus be plus ing form of the verb. What will he be painting? For negative interrogative sentence, we have WH word plus will or shall plus subject plus not plus be plus ing form of the verb. Why will you not be painting? Or will you not be painting? Even without WH word, we can write a negative interrogative sentence. Uses of future continuous tense. To tell about an action which will be going on at a time in the future. Now we are referring to a point of time in future and we say that some action will be going on at that moment. Then we will tell it in the future continuous or the future progressive tense. I shall be flying a kite on Makar Sankranti. Makar Sankranti is a point of time in future. What will be going on at that time? Which action will be going on at that time? Flying kite. I shall be flying a kite on Makar Sankranti. Next year is future time. They will be studying in class 10. The boy will be coming back soon.
Now students, you have to point out mistakes in the following sentences. First is, he was teaching me tomorrow. He was teaching me tomorrow. What is the mistake? Can you find out? Note the use of word tomorrow. Tomorrow indicates which time? Present, past or future? It indicates future time. So with future time, we must use past continuous or future continuous? Future continuous, of course. And is it correct to use was for future continuous? No. What should we use then? Will be or shall be. What should be used with he? Will be or shall be? Will be should be used with he. So the correct sentence will be, he will be teaching me tomorrow. Now we come to the second sentence. Their parents was coming here yesterday night. What is the mistake? Here time is denoted by yesterday. Which time? Present, past or future? Yesterday denotes past time. So we must use past continuous tense here. It is past continuous already, was coming. But what is the mistake then? Now we will see the subject. Subject is their parents. Their parents is third person plural subject. With third person plural, what do we use? Was or were? We use were with the third person plural subject. So the correct sentence will be, their parents were coming here yesterday night. Third is, I is going to school. I'm sure all of you have found the mistake already. I is going to school. You all know that I takes am with it, not is. So the correct sentence is, I am going to school. Now we come to the fourth sentence. They was teasing the dog. They was teasing the dog. What is the mistake? Was teasing is correct. The subject is they. This is third person plural subject. Should we use was with it? Should we use was with it? No, we should use were with the third person plural subject. So the correct sentence is they were teasing the dog.
Now comes the present perfect tense. The sentence structure for the present perfect tense affirmative sentence is subject plus has or have plus the third form of the verb. V3 is third form of the verb. We use has with the third person singular subject. Third person singular you already know, he, she, it, one or any singular noun, and have with all the other subjects. He has given me his book. We have walked 5 miles. You have returned my car. They have called me for an interview. I have written a letter. Now see, he is a third person singular subject. It is followed by has. Then third form of the verb given. We is a first person subject and it is followed by have. Then walked, the third form of verb. You is a second person subject. It is followed by have and then third form of the verb. They is a third person plural subject. It is also followed by have, then third form of the verb. I is a first person singular subject. It is followed by have and then the third form of the verb. For negative sentences, we have the rule subject plus has or have plus not plus V3. That means the third form of the verb. He has not given me his book. We have not walked 5 miles. You have not returned my car. I have not written a letter. Has or have, that means the helping verb is followed by not, then the third form of the verb. For interrogative sentences, for single interrogative, has or have, that means it begins with the helping verb, then subject, and then comes V3, that means the third form of the verb. Have you called the police? Double interrogative sentence begins with WH word followed by has or have plus subject plus V3. Example is, where have I kept my books? For negative interrogative sentence, we have the rule WH word plus has or have plus subject plus not plus V3. Example is, why have they not helped her? Or have they not helped her? Without WH word also you can write a negative interrogative sentence. Uses of present perfect tense. To tell about an action completed in the recent past with just. We can use just to tell an action which is completed in the recent past. And in this case, present perfect tense will be used. I have just polished my shoes. This action has been completed in the recent past. He has just returned home.
Students, present perfect tense is also used to denote an action beginning at some point of time in the past and continuing up to the present moment. Look at this picture. This is present and this is past. The action began somewhere here in the past and it continues up to the present moment. In such case, we use present perfect tense. We use since to tell the point of time when this action began. Like time by clock 10 a.m., like some day, like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Any year, 1990, 2001, any year, July, that is a month, last week, last year, etc. If we tell the point of beginning, this point, this is the point of beginning of the action. If we are telling this point of beginning, then we use since. My family has not visited me since 2015. Here we have used since 2015 because this is the point of beginning. You have not done your work since April. Here again we have used since. Why? Because we are giving the point of beginning of the action by telling the month in which the action began. But we use for to tell the duration for which the action has continued. This is the duration which is indicated by the arrow. Got it? This can be 4 days, 5 weeks, 2 hours, 10 years. That means number of days, number of weeks, number of hours, number of years, number of minutes, number of seconds. My family has not visited me for 5 years. 5 years is the length of time. This is the duration. This duration is of 5 years, which is indicated by the arrow. You have lived here for 2 years. In this sentence, the duration, which is indicated by arrow, is of 2 years. In both these cases, we have used for, because we are telling the length of time for which the action has continued. I hope you have understood the use of since and for.
Now comes past perfect tense. And the sentence structure for the past perfect tense is, for affirmative sentence, subject plus had plus V3. It is very simple. For any kind of subject we use had. Then it is followed by V3, that means the third form of the verb. He had given me his book. We had walked 5 miles. You had returned my car. They had called me for an interview. I had written a letter. For negative sentence, subject plus had plus not plus V3. Not is placed after the helping verb had. He had not given me his book. We had not walked 5 miles. You had not returned my car. They had not called me for an interview. I had not written a letter. For interrogative sentence, single interrogative, the rule for single interrogative sentences, had plus subject plus V3. It begins with the helping verb had. Had you called the police? Called is the third form of the verb. Had you called the police? Double interrogative sentence begins with WH word followed by had plus subject plus V3. Where had I kept my books? For negative interrogative, we have WH word plus had plus subject plus not plus V3. Example is, why had they not helped her? Or even without WH word, we can form a negative interrogative sentence like, had they not helped her? Uses of the past perfect tense to describe an action completed before a certain moment in the past. Like we are referring to a point of time in the past and we say that some action was completed before that point. Then we use past perfect tense. I had seen him in 1999. Then I met him in 2005. So we are referring to 2005 and before that the action took place in 1999. So we are using past perfect tense in this sentence. I had seen him in 1999 because this action was completed before 2005. The king had told his soldiers to be alert. King had already told his soldiers to be alert before certain point of time in the past. Future perfect tense. Sentence structure for affirmative sentence in the future perfect tense is subject plus will have or shall have plus V3. We use shall have with the first person subject and will have with all the other subjects that you already know. He will have given me his book. We shall have walked 5 miles. You will have returned my car. They will have called me for an interview. I shall have written a letter. Negative sentence, subject plus will or shall plus not plus have plus V3. Not is placed between will or shall and have. They will not have called me for an interview. He will not have given me his book. We shall not have walked 5 miles. You will not have returned my car. I shall not have written a letter. Now interrogative sentence. For single interrogative sentence, we have the rule will or shall plus subject plus have plus the third form of the verb. Will you have called the police? Will or shall plus subject followed by have plus the third form of verb. Double interrogative sentence, we have the rule WH word plus will or shall plus subject plus have plus the third form of verb. Where shall I have kept my books? Negative interrogative sentence, WH word plus will or shall plus subject plus not plus have plus V3. Example is, why will they not have helped her? Uses of the future perfect tense to talk about the actions which will be completed by a certain time in future. Suppose we are talking about tomorrow and we wish to say that some action will be completed by tomorrow. Then we will use future perfect tense. I shall have returned your book by Monday. Monday is future time. And I shall have returned your book. That means this action of returning the book will be completed by this time in future. The train will have left before you reach the station. Your reaching the station will take place in future. And train will have left before that time. That is why future perfect is used in this part of the sentence. Point out mistakes in the following sentences. He is always stand out of the house. What is the mistake? Can you tell? He is followed by is, then verb is stand. Is does not take first form of the verb, it takes ing form of the verb. He is always standing out of the house. I am reading a book yesterday. What is the mistake? I am reading is present continuous and it is used with yesterday. I am reading a book these days or I am reading a book today is okay. It will be correct to say today here. She will have returned by yesterday. She will have returned is which tense? Future perfect tense. Can it be used with yesterday? No. Why? Because it tells past time. So we have to use future time reference here. Instead of yesterday, we will use which day? Tomorrow. She will have returned by tomorrow. They have done it before 2005. Now students, 2005. Which time does it denote? It denotes past time. Then can we use have done? Instead of have done, we have to use had done. They had done it before 2005 is correct. My father have gone to his office. My father have gone to his office. What is the mistake? My father. Which person subject is this? My father. This is a third person subject. Third person singular or plural? It is singular. It is a third person singular subject. It should be followed by has or have. Which one? Has or have? It should be followed by has. This is the mistake. The correct sentence would be, my father has gone to his office. You have did your work. You is followed by have. This is right. Did. Have is followed by which form of the verb? The third form of the verb. That means it should be followed by done, not did. Did is the second form of the verb. So it is the mistake. The correct sentence would be, you have done your work. I hope you have got it correct. You knew the mistakes and you won't make such mistakes. Now the assignment for you is, today we have learned the sentence structure and uses of the present continuous, the past continuous and the future continuous tense, and also the present perfect, the past perfect and the future perfect tense. Write 2 sentences each in these tenses as they are used in different situations. I hope you will be able to do this assignment.